I'm much more comfortable with little kids. So ladies and gentlemen, today in science, as I'm sure you can tell, we are going to continue building on our knowledge of animals and creatures in their habitats. Our target for today is that at the end of our science class, you will be able to explain how animals use camouflage to survive in their habitat. So by explain, I want you to be able to, in your own words, out loud and in writing, talk through what camouflage is and how that helps an animal survive. So that's our target today, and I'd like to introduce you to some vocabulary that's important today, and we'll add it to our word wall. I'm just going to hold it up to start with. The first one is adaptation. So adaptation just refers to a change that a creature goes through that helps it to survive, to live. The other is a defense mechanism, and this is a type of adaptation that protects an animal in the wild. And more specifically for today, we're going to be talking about camouflage. Now there are 4 types of camouflage. The first one we're going to talk about is called concealing coloration. And this is a big term, but probably what you think of most often when we think of camouflage. I hope this works with the glare, sorry. So this is a white-tailed deer. And this is an example of concealing coloration. So to conceal, this means that the color of the animal, its physical appearance, allows it to be hidden where it lives. So you can observe by looking at this white-tailed deer that it would be hard to see because its coloring matches its surroundings. It conceals or hides it where it is. Our next one is called disruptive coloration. Now, there is the word disrupt in disruptive. Is this a word that you're familiar with? Can anyone tell us what they think the word disrupt means? Well, in this case, what it does is for a predator, it changes how they're seeing the target, or their prey. This is an example of disruptive coloration. This is a butterfly raccoon fish. And you can see that they all have the same unique coloring. And what this does is it disrupts the predator's view. It doesn't allow it to see where one fish begins and where one ends. So there's safety in numbers. It often refers to animals with stripes or any kind of unique print. The third and fourth type, or I'll start with the third, is disguise. This is a type of camouflage, and you can see by looking at this stick bug that it is disguised because it has taken on the look of the tree, the stick that it's on. So essentially, disguise means that the creature is putting on a costume. It is pretending to be something else. This is very related to our fourth one, which is mimicry. And this is when a creature mimics another creature that is poisonous, that doesn't taste good, and this helps it to survive in the wild. Oftentimes, these two, to disguise and to mimic, they overlap. So for our purposes today, we're going to think of them as the same category, because oftentimes creatures will disguise themselves by mimicking, and we just want to be as clear as possible. So I'm going to hand out to you our graphic organizer for today. And we are going to work through some really awesome images of creatures that are camouflaged and try to determine what type of camouflage we're seeing, we're observing. and how this might help the creature survive in its habitat. If you'll take a look at the organizer, you see that the first column is to identify the animal. Now, you might not always know the animal, and that's okay, because for our purposes today, we just want to be able to explain how this creature is using camouflage. You're going to observe, be investigators, take a close look at creatures and determine if it's concealing coloration, disruptive coloration, or disguise and mimicry. The third column is how you think this helps the creature survive where it lives. And the last column is I need to find out or I want to know. That kind of wondering question. Has this piqued your curiosity? Is there something else you'd like to know about this creature? Or is there something that's confusing and you need more information? So let's walk through the first one together. I hope you can see this image. All right. What do you see?
A leaf. Is it a leaf bug? A leaf. The firefly?
Insect.
The moth.
It looks like a leaf.
Like a butterfly.
Yeah.
I hear butterfly. A moth. What part of this tells you that it's more than a leaf?
I see legs.
You observe legs. Right up here. This is actually called a dead leaf bug. And it looks like a dead leaf. Now, based on your observations, what type of camouflage do you think this is?
Disguise.
Disguise and mimicry. Why?
I think I saw this bug downtown one time in a museum.
Oh yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And
Third graders would say that right out. I did though, think I see it.
you've seen that bug before?
Because leaves don't taste good, dead leaves.
Okay, so how it can tell me more about that.
Well,
If it doesn't taste good.
it's disguising itself from things that might want to eat it because they might not want to eat dead leaves.
Okay, so it's disguising itself from predators.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You're right. It does look like a dead leaf. It would disguise it. How else might this help? This
It helps it eat
disguise, this
something?
camouflage help it to survive.
Does it help it capture its prey?
How would it
If
do
it
that?
doesn't see it coming, it's like, oh, it's just a leaf, and then
It can go unnoticed, so it makes it easier to find food. Good. Is there anything that you don't know about this that you'd like to investigate further? Any wondering questions? I look at this and I wonder what this dead leaf bug eats. Anyone else?
I want to know if it ever changes colors.
If it changes colors?
I said how big it is, the size of it. I mean, some of these are really small, some are really big.
Right, and you can't
I
tell
know
from
how
this
fast it
image,
runs.
you can't tell the proportions.
where does it live?
I want to know what family
Its
it's
habitat, where does this bug live?
I'm wondering if it walks or if it flies. Like, does it have wings like somewhere that come out, or is it just walk?
Yeah, if the leaves are wings. Those are excellent questions. Thank you. These we'll use in our independent work as we research a little bit more. Right now, what I'd like you to do is work in your table groups. And I want you to keep in mind our expectations for table groups. And I want you to talk about the images I'm going to hand out to you and fill in some of this graphic organizer as a team. I am giving you lots to kind of pique your interest and your curiosity. You don't have to all do the same ones. You can spread them out. You may do the same ones if you'd like to. And during this time, I will be walking around to answer questions and to listen to you.
There's a spider.
Remember?
There was a really gross bug in my office that it freaked me out. And I screamed.
Yeah, I do.
And then that bug guy is right next to me. He's like, are you okay? I'm like,
I'm doing it now.
Boys and girls, I'd really like you to take about 5 minutes to fill in as many as you're able to If you finish the graphic organizer, just look up so I can tell who's finished. But I expect to hear some conversation. Choose one to do together.
We did this frog together.
Oh, yeah. And it's confusing.
So would that be?
And then I wanted to find out about predators. Yeah, you're on the straight for you. So, you know that?
What kind of camouflage?
Plus one of my teachers.
I know them, Rob.
You're sitting there.
How does this help the animals survive?
Hard to see.
Yeah.
So if it's hard to see, how does that help it to survive?
Predators can't see it, so they can't eat them.
Okay, it can stay hidden.
It's easier to catch food if the food can't see you coming.
So it's very related to our understanding of predator-prey relationships we've been talking about with this unit.
I would like to know what eats free frogs.
Cats, house cats, mainly.
So I just wonder how high can it jump?
Which one?
The sea dragon, I wanna know where it's about.
They're so
okay.
I wasn't
They just go outside.